emotional intelligence, you know that you have an imagination. And you know that you're in charge of your imagination. You're in charge of your thoughts and your feelings. It's not easy to believe when you're trained to believe in the outside teachers and authorities. It's very hard to believe in yourself. But that's what I'm here for you. I need you to believe in yourself above all others. Now, I'm having a hard time myself. I told you I'd be honest, and I am. I have a family, and they don't love me, and they love to see me suffer. They love to hold themselves up on social media for me to see, so that I suffer. That's the way my family is. How I am is what matters, and how I am is very, very touched by what they're doing. I am touched by what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing. They are killing me and my spirit. And that may be happening to your world too, and that's why I want to bring it up. That if you have loved ones you really love, but they don't love you anymore, how do you cope? You can pretend everything's fine, but it's not. And I need people to know that. There's consequences to breaking bonds here. Huge consequences. People wouldn't even know where to begin to think for themselves. Honestly, they don't. Lobotomized to be in the moment, to be entertained for the moment. This is all that matters to the Hollywood watchers, is your entertainment and your pleasure, your viewing pleasure. And they've neuro-linguistically programmed brains to be deviant, sexually confused monkeys who drop their seeds anywhere, sleep with anything, anyone, all day long, and don't even have another thought about it. They don't think about it. Now I'm going to drop her, I'm going to go get the next one. Like love is disposable to you, eh? It's not disposable. And you're going to pay. You're going to pay emotionally, because that's where we all pay. The emotional consciousness people are unaware of is what I talk about. Because I feel most people are lobotomized and senseless, in all honesty. It's a senseless world to me. It's a fucking senseless world here, and that's it. I was in the emergency of some hospital a year ago or so, and I saw a child frightened by a mask, somebody wearing a mask, and I said it out loud, and a doctor, a female psychiatrist, happened to see me and say that. The child is frightened of that mask. I think it was a child being forced to wear the mask. That was it. I just couldn't stand it, and I had to say something. And that got me 13 days in a psych ward. I'm being tortured by nurses, by human beings that were educated to see the worst in the clientele. And to feel okay and proud of their costumes and pay and authority over others. I know when I was studying criminology, there was a study done where the guards in corrections and the prisoners we're of no difference whatsoever in personality. In fact, a psychiatrist woman out of Bellevue, Washington, did a study, if I remember correctly, on death row inmates and executioners. Well, guess who turned out more psychopathic than the death row prisoners? Yeah, the executioners. They're cold, dead, gone people, not even alive in there, if you can kill somebody. You see, we never needed Moses. We had conscience once upon a time. They brought scripture, which is a script, and this script is having us repeat our emotional lives over and over again. We don't die, and we're getting worse in our emotional consciousness. Is the light's going out is basically what I'm saying. The light is going out. Now, what is the light? You just go and look in the mirror. Go look in your eyeballs there, and you'll see little shiny lights. 2. Maybe you have 4. I have 6. I have 3 in each eye. They're cameras recording my life. My imagination, what's in my imagination, what's in my fantasies, and what I see all around me is coming with me when I die. It's coming with me and you. What you're recording here is going with you. And the problem people have is that they're amongst a popular culture, making it okay to judge and demonize other people because of what they say or how they live. It's okay to throw them away, and I find that hard to live with. But I have to find a way to somehow cope with my losses. It's been, September 2016 when Beings of Light and my deceased son came and opened up my eyes, and I see all. I see all. And I understand today, 6 years later, going on 7, why the beings of light were so grave. Like I felt like something's wrong. Something's very wrong here. You know, when you get a visit from an angel, you don't really expect to feel that feeling I got. And it was a feeling of doom here. It was a feeling of immense loss. And I know it was personal. And I know it's global. I know that my family does represent humanity. And the majority of people have walked into gardens they don't belong in. Other people's gardens, other people's imaginations. You know, somebody will tell you something going on in their life, like I do. Like when I said my son's here, he's not dead, he's sitting on my bed. If somebody tells you something, you fucking listen. You stupid assholes. You listen. If I told you a story that I saw on TV, I can understand why you wouldn't want to listen to me, okay? Because it's fiction. If I saw it somewhere or read it somewhere. But I am telling people and my family from my heart, Trevor didn't die. No, he's all around us all the time. And then Mom died, and then she didn't die either. Oh my God! All these dead people are dying. And I can't tell them. They're afraid of me in my news, maybe. But it is a reality I have to live with. It's my reality I'm carrying with me. And I do quite frequently, especially in the last few months. Actually, maybe since I quit smoking, I'm a little bit more hypersensitive. And I'm working through it. And the only answer I'm coming up with is I have to block it out. I have to cut the cord. And when I do, it's permanent. It's a permanent thing, guys. But for my own emotional consciousness with my deceased son, mother, and father, I'm okay. Because I have my thread with me. You need a thread. We all need a thread. And I have a thread. But we're losing the rest. You can't carry on like a monster. You can't. I'm sorry. But this last 100 years, Hollywood really got men and women. Psychopaths. You can fucking blame anything or anyone all you want all day long. But love blames you. You gave up love for your fear, for your shows, for your entertainment, for your authority, to be right. Nobody here is right. Nobody. No one here is right. I was just watching the show on Beyond the Arctic. And there is other worlds that we don't know anything about, that were destroyed. Civilizations have been destroyed over and over again. And I was looking at the top of Russia there, and I see a town, I can't remember what it was called, Vorkator or something. And it was a mining town that was built after the Second World War. And all these cement apartments were put up there, all these buildings. Not cheap buildings either, like solid buildings. And they're all turning to ash now, already. Just like it was in the 50s, 1950s, and it's already turning into a landfill. I was listening to some other guy talking about how the Freemasons are destroying the Catholic Church. Oh my God. Stupid guys. Everything is an industry for your mind and your soul here. From religion, to university, to medicine, to media, to education. It's all to get your mind to believe in what they're telling you. And that's what happened, since World War II. There's nothing in education that's been right or true. We're on a flat plane. We're not on a spinning ball, and we've never been to the fucking moon. How fucking dare you lie like that? How fucking dare you get paid to lie and do it, you fucking pigs who take money and lie and educate themselves and their children to be fools for the government? Slaves. You're slaves. There are consequences to turning over your free will. And you've read the Bibles, you've read all the scriptures, you've heard all the fear-mongering about Revelations. But you have to understand, we've been hearing about it every 100 years. Because we live every 100 years. We don't die. Nothing's true here. We don't die. What are you going to do? But the breaking of bond is grave. That's what I'm telling you. And that's why I want to talk about your story. that you're bringing with you. Because when you do die and you don't die, you will be alone. Totally alone. There will be no popular cultures or parades or cheerleading squads telling you what a good job you did. No God will be there with his gavel to judge you either. You'll be back in your right mind, where I am now, with conscience, with the feeling that you cannot harm another soul, the feeling that you cannot allow abuse against children. You can't. But here I fucking sit in Quebec while my family and humanity carry on preparing for Christmas. Merry fucking Christmas, eh? I gave up Christmas 2 years ago when I realized who I was, for one thing, and what they've been doing in the name of Jesus for another. When you step into the fantasies of other people and you don't know it, you live by faith alone, you're walking into hell for eternity. It's a cycle, and it's something that I would never be a part of again. And you don't have to. Once you get it, that's it. You're not going to be a part of it, and I will not be a part of this hellhole. I'm cutting the cord. There's not enough movement. There's not enough magnet movement. Like, there's nothing coming out of man. Nothing. Except cartoons. And sorrow. I see a lot of people in sorrow, yeah, but, you know, they're waiting for somebody else. And that's not going to happen. Thou shalt have no other gods before thee. You're going to be really disappointed. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm cutting the cords of, like, the only way to do that is to end Facebook and Twitter and all of it. Like, I gotta close down the accounts. And I'm in Quebec, they're in British Columbia, and I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to see them anymore. I don't want to imagine them anymore. And I believe that I can do that. I can erase my memories of them. And I believe that's what I have to do. I have to. To save my own soul, my feelings. I have to erase them. I have to decide, do I want this or not? And no, I don't want this. I can't carry these feelings because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to repeat a cycle. So in our imaginations that come with us when we die, and when we don't die, you've got to fix your imagination now about everything. You're in charge of your imagination. You're in charge of your eyeballs and what you're recording here. And it's not hidden. Your thoughts are not hidden. And your imagination will manifest one way or the other. I said yesterday we can go into an infinity of hell, or we can go into an infinity of heaven. It's an emotional thing. It's feelings. And that's who we are. When we're not just being entertained, and we don't think Hollywood is the be-all and end-all in life. You don't know what life is all about. There's no appreciation for life. I see very little appreciation. I see people running around saying, "You better be grateful. You better be grateful. God's watching ya. Grateful, grateful, be grateful." Fucking idiots. There's a huge difference between gratitude and appreciation. A person with appreciation really appreciates what they have, really adores it, and makes it even better with their love of what they have. If you have no love of what you have, it's going to shrivel up and go away. If you have no love for what you have, it's going to shrivel up and go away. And you may be in a trance while this is all going on. So in order to be okay with your imagination, you have an internal compass. And there's a feeling in there. There's a feeling marker. It's your conscience. And when you're going off rails, you've got to know that. You've got to know when your thinking is creating chaos in your own mind. I'm in reality. And the positive thinkers would have me not think about it at all. Just don't think about it, Cheryl. Don't think about it, Nana Marie. No, don't think. Yeah, it'll just drive you crazy. Those mothers are going to hell. You have to look at emotional consciousness here. It's not existent, guys. It's not existent. People are not in tune with their feelings. And because of that, they get everything all wrong all the time. My family has no idea how much I love them. They're blinded by their lies and delusion. They lie to themselves and they give up their only hope. That's what they've done. My mother came in 2020. You can heal after death if you have someone here who can emotionally connect with you. And my mom and I are emotionally connected. We're twin flames. Which I wouldn't have known if I didn't have an open mind about things. If I had just, because she was a horrible mother, very abusive, a psychopath, really, I could have just cut that cord. Fuck off. I don't want to ever deal with you again. But there was something wrong. And I knew it. I was downloaded by the beings of light. And you know what was wrong? Is that my mother was created here by the same perverts who were creating me and your kids through education and religion. We're being programmed to be assholes to each other, to insist on more from others than ourselves. So it's very hard for me I won't ever fake my feelings. I see people fake their fucking feelings all day long on TV, and I hate it. There's nothing worse than actors about feelings. I hear so many men who are so out of touch with their feelings. They haven't got a clue. They won't ever talk about feelings at all. Because it's just an impossible subject. But they're all that matter at the end of the day. And while I knew my son was around, I didn't know how he felt. And I didn't know that during our life together, I had broken the bond. My feelings were disconnected from my son. And this is something you guys don't really realize, is how powerful the mother-son bond is. The mother-child bond, I should say. You know, her intuition is what is needed here, but it's gone. You don't have a loving mother. Without intuition, you do not have a loving mother. You have chaos, and she's blind as a bat, and she doesn't know your feelings. And she doesn't know she cares. She has no idea she cares. You know, people live in the moment, and they live for this entertaining life, or they live for bacon, you know, go to work. They're not living for love or appreciation of what they have. And what I'm doing mentally is preparing myself to let go of my family and start anew in January. Now, how am I going to do that when I'm also commissioned to put out the fire on planet Earth here? How can I carry on and still, I don't know how I could do it. So that's what I'm working on. You don't have to know how you're going to get something achieved. You just have to know you want something achieved. And what I want achieved is my suffering to end on Earth. And I don't want to die for that. I'm sick of wanting to die to end the suffering. So I don't want to suffer anymore emotionally. So from now until I get it, I'm going to work on that. And it's not about working it out with others. It's about working it out with my own feelings. Because when I work with my feelings, I know what I'm dealing with. When I'm working with somebody else's, I don't know where their imaginations have been. You don't need psychologists, psychiatrists. You don't need doctors. They're the worst thing that ever happened to us. That very thought that I went in for those pap smears just today makes me scream and cringe. That they do it to little girls. It's such a sick world, guys. But these doctors, you know, it's just like when they're in grade 8. And in science 8, they were given a sheep's eyeball to dissect. Remember that, guys? You should have known how evil that was to handle that eyeball. But when you're pushed in a group cult situation to do things that are so far removed from love and God, and you just go along with it, and some go along with it better than others. And they really want to shut up the naysayers like me, and so the abuse is intense. My whole life, intense. Because I'm fighting the popular cultures, all of them, right? All of the fucking religions, all of the education. You know, I can't get along. And that's my lot. But I am carrying a movie with me. I know what I'm doing here. I know where my compass, my moral compass sits. It sits with appreciation and love of my life. That I can use my human senses here and manifest anything I want. It's just a sad thing that fear rules the world and we're manifesting hell. And so the only place I can really be safe and comfortable is in my own environment, however I keep it. I have to keep it free of people. the journey I've been on, like if I could, I can't even explain it to you how evil people are. And what I witnessed in regular, normal, everyday people are the worst. They're blind, they're judgmental, and they're wrong about everything. And they still donate to charities and food banks, and they get emotional and sad about idol stars who are in plane crashes or idol stars who get a cold. They get emotional and send money to them. Don't you understand? I hate that world. I hate it. I hate it. I just hate it. Do you hate it? I don't know. I think some of my subscribers hate it too. And, just trying to get by with the best way they can. Once you're, like, woke is not just woke to tyranny and corruption in government. That's been going on all along. Woke is realizing you're responsible for whatever you're taking home with you. I have my father and my son. They are twin flames. I have my mother. She is my twin flame. And I have a huge imagination of all of my past lives. And I've broken through the barrier, the emotional trauma barrier, where I used to be afraid to look and to see and to feel for myself and to believe in myself and to say it out loud. I couldn't do it before. But now I do. Now I know. The only person I'm here to impress is me for my movie. And the reason why I'm going to be making a great movie is because of how I feel in my appreciation for this life. Even though I was shit on all life long and then buried alive by my people who don't know me or love me or want me. Do you know how many people are going through what I'm going through? They're in your streets everywhere. People don't like to give because the media perpetuates homelessness and poverty is bad and they're going to steal your stuff. How can I get through to the majority of people who are graduates from these indoctrination camps and this sick thinking from Hollywood and this fear-based mentality about women for 2,600 years? We've lived in the Garden of Eden, which is hell for any woman. And any woman in hell is going to kill her kids like I did. Right? You can't raise healthy kids when your mother's a demon in a fucking garden there. So you guys gotta just get out of these gardens, out of the fiction. And you gotta say, hey, government, I don't want this fucking fiction anymore. I don't want actors. I don't want crisis actors. I don't want beta men, whatever they are. They're not human. They're not human. And you're allowed to hate them. I do. I'll spit on them. Now, I won't go out and meet them. I'll walk away from them. But I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of pervy people that I would just as soon spit on. And I don't have to love them. I have to hate them. How about that? For my movie, I have to hate it. Or I'm part of it. And I think that pretty much goes for everybody. You gotta hate it. Or you're gonna be it. You are it. I want all of the Hollywood gone. That's my goal here. I want that gone. I don't want people to be watching devices. for a life. Maybe that's what I'm leaving behind. I did say we are all stars. We come from the moon, and there's a lighter side to the moon on the other side, which you've never seen, which is a mirror and the opposite of this. That's what I feel. I hope everybody makes it. Stay in your imagination. Try not to. Yeah, I'm not going to force my family to love me. It's just not going to happen. So I have to get out of their imagination and, free them at the same time free myself. But it's permanent. And I'm talking about my grandchildren here. And that's fucking hard to take. Dylan Thomas, Rage, Rage Against the Dying of the Light. He's going to be 25 in January. The same age as his father when his father died. I don't know. I do know my granddaughter, and I don't like her. I just don't like her at all. I think she's a hideous human being. As cold as they fucking get. She's going to be the easy one to lose in my mind. What happens to her? I don't know. I have no idea what happens to these people. But when you're a vile human being to your own grandmother, I think you're pretty much evil anyway. And so there's no feelings. There's just no more feelings. So you can take it or leave it. That's how I'm dealing with it. If there's no feelings, I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to force any fucking feelings. I'm not taking prisoners with me. What I want is love and joy and laughter and using my human senses for the appreciation of what we have here so that we can manifest so much more, where men can build what they want to build or research what they want to research, and women can create what they want to create. But here we're all programmed in neuro-linguistic programming to be the same brain, same imagination. And it's zombie land. It's hell. I don't want any part of this imagination. I'm really sorry for being so negative. I really am, but that's the way I am here today. And I am honest with my feelings, if nothing else. Another good thing about feelings is they can change. They can change. And that's a problem for me because I don't want them to change. I need stability here. I need to know what I'm working toward, So that's what I'm going to be thinking about over these holidays. I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I don't have anybody to celebrate it with, and I don't have any joy in my heart for it once a year. I have it every day. I cook fine food. I got some chocolates here my friend sent me from Kamloops. They've got some, those brandy alcohol chocolates that you... Ooh, so good. Kidney beans. And I have my after eights. And I have oranges. And I have a good heart. And I can live with myself. And I feel peace in my heart because I can live with myself. It's the ones who work against themselves and their loved ones who have no peace and no sleep. So don't worry about me with that. I'm okay. And I want to teach you to be okay too. You can't own anybody else's imagination. You have to know who you are, what your story is, and what you're bringing home. Make it a great movie. Make it so that you don't have to repeat here. It's an industry here, and you are the asset. And you can become a liability the older you get. And everybody gets old. Well, hopefully. But the neglect on the seniors and grandparents that I've witnessed in the last couple of years, I can tell that that's how they were educated to be, right? Not care. And to disagree with your parents and grandparents because you learned something at school. And you come home and you disagree with your family. That's going to be a crying shame. Who will tell the kids? You know, I see some kids are very bright and they're not into this world at all. And I can see, like, not many, but I can see they broke through. They're the failures of your education system. But they also don't know how to cope with the people around them. You know, it's very hard to stay sovereign to yourself when everybody's trying to be a communist and want you to go along with the same program they go along with. People can't be loving and accepting just the way they are. If only I could show you my heart. It's shattered. It really is shattered. But it's better to be shattered here, where I can work through my feelings emotionally. And that's what I hope I can help others with too. I use self-hypnosis. I change the programming that I was given. I drop thoughts. I'm not afraid to drop any thought I don't want. But I won't drop thoughts that I have to face. Like feelings I have to face, yes, I have to face those feelings. And the feelings I have to face today are my family doesn't want me. And I have to accept that. And I have to appreciate it. And have to love it. And I have to hate them. And I do. I finally do.